What's up guys? How's it going? I haven't made a video in about 2 or 3 weeks, and that's because I was sick and my computer hard drive crashed. So I was fixing that and trying to recover from this sickness. But I'm back today, and in today's video I want to talk about the 3 biggest mistakes that new sellers make on Amazon FBA. I don't know if you guys are aware, but there's a ton of different Facebook groups where people discuss Amazon FBA and different tactics to succeed, and constantly I see people posting their failures, and what I've noticed is a trend, and that's something that I want to talk about today. I also want to say that I am not separate from this group. Like I had also failed some of these same ways that other people have failed, but the difference is I got back up and I kept going. And I think most people, you know, once they see a little bit of failure, they throw in the towel, and that's game over. So the first big mistake that I see new sellers make is choosing the wrong product. Really, what this business comes down to is doing good product research and making sure that you're going to source a product that is actually going to sell. So there's 2 sides of the spectrum that I see people fall into. They either pick a product that has no sales volume, or no search volume, and maybe it's not competitive, but they're not doing enough due diligence to ensure that people are actually searching and buying this product. And then you have the other spectrum where somebody goes into a niche that they have no business being in, where there's competitors that are crushing it, that, you know, have thousands of reviews, and either of those cases it's not going to work if you're a beginner. It's very important to do quality research in making sure that you are going into a niche that you know you can make sales. And so in my opinion, I'd rather go into a more competitive niche, but that I know has demand, because I've been in both situations actually. The first product I launched, I got in at the end of the season. I've talked about this before. It's a seasonal product. I got in at the end of the season, and at that point it was very saturated. There's a ton of competitors. There's some guys in there who have, you know, a couple thousand reviews. But during the peak seasons, there is a ton of demand for this. So I came in at the end of August. It's a summer product, and I was like, oh crap, this sucks. But what I didn't realize is that this product also sells well during the holiday season. So around November, even though, you know, I'm not even close to the same amount of reviews as my competitors, sales just took off, and I sold out in a couple weeks. And that's something that if I was in a niche where there was no search volume, that just would never have happened. Funny enough, right now, that product, since it's coming into summer, that product is just blowing up. It's taking off. And so my first product actually didn't turn out to be a failure at all. I'm actually making good money on that product, which is awesome. There's another product that I launched with a partner of mine, and you know, we were just trying to see if this would work, and going the more like less competitive routes. But ultimately what happened is there was just no demand for it. The top seller was making sales. It looked like the first page was making sales, like everybody says, to make sure the front page has a distribution of sales of you know, 10 sales across each seller. What we didn't realize is that some of these brands were pretty well established outside of Amazon, so they were driving external traffic, or they had social media accounts that they were using, and that's something that we just didn't take into account. So that product was a dud. That sucked. So yeah, product research, choosing a shitty product is probably the biggest mistake. So make sure that when you're going into a niche, it's got enough demand and it fits your goals and your budget. You know, if you're going into a super competitive niche and the top seller has, like, you know, 500, 1,000 reviews, you better have enough money to back up like lots of giveaways and then reordering inventory. And that brings us to the next point. The second biggest mistake that I see new sellers make is not having enough capital. Every single day on these Facebook groups, I see people ask, you know, is $500 enough to get started on FBA? Is $1,000 enough to get started on FBA? Is $2,000 enough to get started on FBA? And the answer is that it totally depends on what your goals are. If you're trying to make this into a real business and like replace your current income, then I would say $1,000, $2,000, even $3,000 is not enough money. Because what people don't take into account is that if you start selling rapidly and you've allocated $3,000 to a product, you need to quickly reorder another set of maybe, you know, 1,000 to 2,000 units, which could easily cost $6,000 to $10,000. So I mean, your first order is $3,000, and if you don't have a backup of $6,000 to $10,000, then you're gonna run out of stock, you're gonna lose your ranking, and all that work you just did is gonna be worth shit. You know, you're gonna have competitors come in that have bigger budgets, and you're just gonna get buried. And this is something that I don't think a lot of people realize. You really need to understand your numbers and think of all of the different scenarios. If you sold out really quick, like, would you be able to put in an order fast enough to get products in so that you don't run out of stock, you keep your ranking? Because running out of inventory is really the worst situation. You don't want to be in that situation when you're selling good. So the third biggest mistake that I see new sellers make is not fully committing, not going all in. And what I mean by that is, I think people expect this to be a get-rich-quick type of situation, and when they have that mentality, it keeps you from putting in the full amount of effort that is needed to make this work. And so, for an example, people might see a product, they run some numbers pretty quickly on like one keyword. They look at Jungle Scout or they look at Viral Launch and they're like, oh, this looks good. They go on Alibaba, they click the top listing, they get maybe 1 or 2 quotes, and then they order like 250, 300 units and have it shipped in. They get some, you know, they skimp on the photos, they skimp on the listing, and then their product lands and they're like, why am I not making any sales? Why is nobody buying my product? And that's because you weren't fully committed. To make this work, you really have to be very serious and strategic and tactical about how you go about selling a product. For me, for example, I go into each product as if, you know, I'm gonna be selling it to Walmart. I make sure that I have professional design on the packaging. I make sure that there's professional photos, and I do hours and hours and hours of keyword research to make sure that, you know, every keyword that I'm targeting has significant amounts of search volume, and figuring out what it's going to take to rank on all of those terms so that I can ensure that I'm going to be making sales. So when my product lands, at least in the last two instances, I haven't had to give away, you know, 50, 100, 200 units like some people are doing. Viral Launch is on Jump, for example. You know, I've just done some heavy PPC, and the product itself and the good listing and the photos really sell the product itself, and I've been able to get ranked organically in 1 to 2 weeks. So I really think that's important when you're going into this. You really have to buy in, you really have to commit and take it serious. Sending a couple of units in a poly bag, yeah, that might be a good way to test, but in my opinion, testing 200 units, you're gonna run out of stock, and then you're gonna be like 3 weeks out of stock. Other people are gonna come in. It's like half-assing it. It's not really the right way to go about this business if you're serious about turning it into a full-time business for yourself. So these are the 3 biggest mistakes that I've seen personally. I'm wondering if you guys have any other mistakes that you see newer sellers make. because you know, I'm always learning as well. I've made my fair share of mistakes and I'm learning every day. Yeah, I'd love to hear in the comments below what you guys think. I started a Facebook group for entrepreneurs. It's called Relentless Entrepreneurs, and it's geared for people who were in my shoes back when I was in New York. People who are in a place where they don't want to work in an office job, or they want to quit their full-time job and learn how to make money online, either with Shopify or Amazon or affiliate marketing. So right now, a lot of these conversations are geared towards Amazon FBA, but you know, we welcome all members. It's small right now, and I'm working on building that up, but you know, the more people that join the group, the more valuable the group becomes. So please join the Facebook group. I'll link that in the description, and that would be awesome. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, share the video if you found it useful. Thanks for watching, guys. Oh, last thing, I'm 20 subscribers away from 1,000 subscribers. So please sub if you haven't. I really want to get to the 1,000 mark. Share with your friends, or share my video with somebody who you think would benefit from this content. That's all I got. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.